Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Andrea Fessler, and I am the founder and executive director of Premier Performances, which is a registered charity that puts on music concerts and outreach across Hong Kong. And we are very delighted to have you here today for Beat of the Dragon Boat.
各位大朋友、小朋友，大家好，我係 Johnny 啦。咁我身邊呢一位咧就係今日舉辦呢一個音樂會咧飛躍演奏香港機構嘅行政總監 Andrea Fessler。咁我哋咧係一間機構咧，咁啊專門負責咧係推廣音樂同埋做一啲外展活動嘅。
Today's performance of Beat of the Dragon Boat is a world premiere. And a world premiere means that there isn't anybody anywhere else in the world who has ever heard this piece of music before.
咁今日呢一場音樂會咧係一個世界首演嚟嘅喎，咁咧即係代表咧呢一首歌咧係從來咧喺任何地方咧都冇人聽過嘅喎。
So, because this is a very special event, we are actually going to be recording the concert, both audio and video. And so we ask you, please, try not to talk at all during the performance.
係啦，咁因為呢一個係一個世界首演啦，咁我哋咧就會咧我哋攝錄啦同埋錄音今日呢一場嘅音樂會嘅，咁所以咧麻煩一陣間各位大朋友小朋友咧咁啊盡量咧咁啊唔好講嘢或者咧細聲少少咧，同埋咧麻煩咧熄咗你哋嘅手提電話嘅。
And please remember to turn off your mobile phones. I know the word denwa. We are very grateful to the Asia Society for co-presenting the concert with us today and for organizing that wonderful craft activity to make paper dragon boats downstairs. We are also very grateful to Maxime's for sponsoring rice dumplings, which is the traditional food of the Dragon Boat Festival and which you can take home at the end of the performance. And finally, I'd like to thank the Hong Kong government for giving us a very special grant called the Art Development Matching Grants Pilot Scheme, in which the government matches every donation and sponsorship we receive dollar for dollar.
咁我哋咧今日要多謝好多唔同嘅機構啦，包括係今日嘅協辦機構亞洲協會香港中心，咁佢哋提供咗今日嘅場地啦，同埋亦都準備咗咧頭先我哋嘅紫龍舟工作坊咧，咁各位小朋友咧都應該整咗啲紫龍舟噶啦。咁另外咧，我哋仲有另一個嘅贊助機構咧係美心，咁佢哋咧今日係提供咗啲粽咧，咁啊各位大朋友小朋友咧一陣間完場之後咧可以攞啲粽咧翻屋企食嘅。咁同埋咧亦都有香港特別行政區政府啦，咁佢哋就係贊助我哋公司，咁我哋咧就係攞到一個咧係藝術發展配對資助試驗計劃嘅獎金嘅。
It is a condition of our grant that we must report back to the government on the success of all of our programs. So if I could please ask you all to take 2 minutes at the end of the performance and fill in the survey that's in your program, I would be very grateful.
係啦，咁因為我哋有呢個政府嘅一個資助啦，咁咧我哋咧場刊入邊咧其實有一張問卷嘅，咁一陣間咧麻煩完場之後咧可以填翻張問卷咧，咁我哋就可以咧匯報翻我哋今日音樂會嘅成功咧俾政府知道嘅。
And now I'm very excited to turn you over to this very talented group of musicians and narrator for Beat of the Dragon Boat. Enjoy.
咁我哋台上嘅音樂家咧同埋嘅旁白咧準備好啦，咁啊唔阻大家咧細心欣賞今日嘅音樂會。
今日係5月初5，農曆第5個月嘅第5日，我哋聚集喺江邊慶祝端午節龍舟嘅慶典。關於呢個節日嘅故事，包含咗信任、忠誠、妒忌同埋背叛，亦包含咗詩人屈原同埋龍王之間嘅友情。Today is the double fifth day. It's the 5th day of the 5th month of the lunar calendar. We gather at the harbor to celebrate Duanwujie, the Dragon Boat Festival. It is a story of trust and loyalty, jealousy and betrayal. It is also the story of friendship between the poet Qu Yuan and the Dragon King.歷史上曾經有一段時期，各國紛爭不斷，混戰不休，被稱為戰國時代。好多國家一路都打緊仗，楚國就係其中之一。楚王身邊有一位忠臣叫做屈原，屈原為人誠實可靠，受人民愛戴。佢對楚王忠心耿耿，提出好多好聰明嘅建議，令到楚國日益繁盛，人民生活安定。佢成為咗楚王最喜愛，亦都係佢最信任嘅忠臣。There was once a time with so little peace and such constant fighting that it was named the Warring States period. One of these ever-fighting kingdoms was the kingdom of Chu. The king of Chu had a minister named Qu Yuan. Qu Yuan was honest and trustworthy and was beloved by the people. He was very loyal to the king, and through his wise advice, the kingdom of Chu prospered and was left in peace. He became the king's favorite and most trusted advisor. 但係朝廷裏邊有啲人係唔中意屈原，亦唔滿意楚宏對佢咁信任。其他大臣聯合起嚟，說服楚宏疏遠屈原。佢哋喺楚宏嘅心入邊埋下懷疑嘅種子。佢哋話屈原效忠嘅對象其實係楚宏嘅敵人秦王。一個又一個大話，令到懷疑嘅種子生根發芽。佢哋利用唔同嘅詭計同埋陷阱，令到屈原冇辦法再為自己辯護。楚宏好嬲，決定驅逐屈原，永遠唔准佢再入皇宮。But not everyone in the kingdom liked Qu Yuan, nor appreciated his favor with the king. The king's other ministers worked together to turn the king against Qu Yuan. They planted a seed of doubt in the king's mind. They told him that Qu Yuan's loyalty lay with his sworn enemy, the king of Qin. Lie by lie, the seed of doubt took hold and grew into tangled branches of deceit from which Qu Yuan could not untangle himself. This enraged the king, and he banished Qu Yuan from the palace forever. 遠來境外嘅國宏，令到屈原非常苦惱。佢嘅心就好似千刀萬剮。佢嘅流放嘅時候，經常陷入深深嘅沉思，慢慢將佢嘅悲傷化為文字，寫咗一首詩叫做《離騷》。Qu Yuan's anguish at being separated from his beloved king was like 1,000 cuts to the heart. In his exile, he wandered in deep contemplation, putting his sorrow into words, which became a poem named The Lament. In sadness plunged and sunk in deepest gloom, alone I drove on to my dreary doom. In exile rather would I meet my end than to the baseness of their ways descend. Remote the eagle spurn the common range, nor deign since time began its ways to change. A circle midst not with a square design, the different ways could not be merged with mine. Yet still my heart I curbed and curbed my pride. Their blame endured and their reproach beside. To die for righteousness alone I sought, for this is what the ancient sages taught.屈原喺鄉下嗰陣，就會遇到啲村民，分享佢豐富嘅知識，佢嘅心慢慢就好返。一段時間之後，佢感受到平安同埋滿足。Traveling the countryside, Qu Yuan shared his worldly knowledge with the villagers he encountered. His heart slowly healed, and after a time, he found serenity and contentment. 傳說中，每條江河都有一條守護龍。呢啲龍掌管住自然嘅力量，佢哋可以呼風喚雨，傳送太陽嘅溫暖。佢哋負責為周圍嘅人帶嚟豐盛、繁榮同埋幸福。所有嘅龍都聽命於龍王。Legend has it that every river has a guardian dragon. Dragons have power over the elements. They can make much needed rain and wind and carry warmth from the sun. This makes dragons responsible for abundance, prosperity, and good fortune to those around them. The Dragon King is the ruler of all dragons. 路江邊嘅柳樹底下，係屈原最中意寫詩唱歌嘅地方。有一日，龍王就喺上邊飛過嗰陣，就被屈原嘅歌聲吸引住嘅。屈原同龍王就喺呢條江邊成為咗好好嘅朋友。佢哋成日一傾就傾成幾個鐘頭，有時甚至月亮升起咗又落翻嚟，佢哋都留意唔到。龍王揭開海底同埋天上兩個世界嘅奧秘，屈原就打開心胸同龍王分享佢寫嘅詩。佢哋更提出咗只有大自然先答到嘅問題，所謂嘅天文。Under the willow tree by the side of the Milo River was Qu Yuan's favorite spot to write and sing. Whilst flying above, the Dragon King heard Qu Yuan singing and was curious. It was at the riverside that Qu Yuan and the Dragon King forged a deep friendship. They would talk for hours at a time, sometimes so long that the moon had come and gone without either of them noticing. The Dragon King unlocked the secrets of the worlds below the water and above the clouds. Qu Yuan opened his heart and shared his poetry with the Dragon King. They asked questions to which only nature knew the answers, and these became known as the heavenly questions. Who the planet's course defines, or who chose the zodiac signs, set the sun and moon on high, constellations hung nearby. Who the planet's course defines, or who chose the zodiac signs, set the sun and moon on high, constellations hung nearby. From the east rides up the sun, in the west its course is done. From pale dawn till all is black, who can measure out its track? Say what virtue has the moon, that it wanes and waxes soon. Who the planet's course defines, or who chose the zodiac signs, set the sun and moon on high, constellations hung nearby. Say what virtue has the moon, that it wanes and waxes soon. The planet's course defines, or who chose the zodiac signs, set the sun and moon on high, constellations hung nearby, constellations hung nearby.屈原教村民善用守護龍嘅力量， 佢明白到快樂嘅龍係可以帶嚟雨水，因為咁到咗播種嘅季節，村民就會坐好長嘅漁船去舉行比賽。佢哋喺船上擊鼓，啲龍聽到就覺得好似音樂咁。龍王同所有嘅守護龍都好開心，佢哋施法降雨灌溉農作物，帶嚟大豐收，人民都好開心，感謝屈原同埋龍王。Qu Yuan taught the villagers to harness the power of the river's dragon, for he understood that a happy dragon could make the rain fall. So when it was time to plant their seeds, the villagers held races in their long fishing boats. On the boats, they would bang a drum, which was music to the dragon's ears. The dragons and their king were happy with the people, and they brought in water to water the crops, and the harvests were abundant. The people rejoiced and were grateful to both Qu Yuan and the Dragon King.然而，屈原從來都冇忘記過佢敬愛嘅楚王。有一日，佢接獲消息，佢哋嘅敵人秦王俘虜咗楚王，楚國一敗塗地，徹底淪亡。屈原喺極度絕望之中，投向汨羅江，尋求永遠嘅慰藉。However, his beloved king of Chu was never far from Qu Yuan's thoughts. One day, he received news that their mortal enemy, the king of Qin, had captured the king of Chu, and that the kingdom of Chu had fallen and was lost forever. Overcome with despair, Qu Yuan sought solace in the shimmering waters of the Mi-Lo River. 村民一聽到屈原投江，即刻趕到江邊，跳上佢哋嘅船，上救屈原。船長隨着鼓嘅節拍打落水上邊，船就好似射出去嘅箭一樣喺江上飛馳。龍王聽到鼓聲都嚟埋幫手，佢吩咐話：干擾啲魚群嘅主意。村民就抌咗好多種落去條江度。佢又下令繼續打鼓，嚇走嗰啲喺附近徘徊飢餓嘅魚。但係雖然大家都好努力，都係太遲啦。佢哋冇辦法將屈原由嗰個黑麻麻濕立立嘅墳墓度救翻出嚟。When news of Qu Yuan's fall reached the villagers, they raced to the river and jumped into their boats to save him. With every beat of the drum, the paddles hit the water, and the boats moved like arrows over the river. When the Dragon King heard the drum beats, he came to offer his help. Keep the fish busy, he ordered, and the villagers threw zongzi dumplings into the river. Keep beating your drums, he commanded, to scare the circling hungry fish. But despite all the effort, they were too late, and they were not able to save Qu Yuan from his dark and wet grave. 強而有力嘅龍王捉翻住呢位詩人四圍遊蕩緊嘅魂魄，賦予佢新嘅生命，成為佢嘅龍。屈原自此做咗汨羅江嘅守護龍。村民同埋龍王嘅努力感動咗屈原嘅魂魄，醫好晒佢所有嘅創傷。從此以後，佢以守護龍嘅身份，忠心耿耿咁照顧佢嘅人民。The mighty and powerful Dragon King took hold of the poet's wandering spirit and gave him a new life. As one of his dragons, Qu Yuan became the guardian dragon of the Mi-Law River. The effort of the villagers and the Dragon King touched Qu Yuan's spirit in a way that healed all wounds. And he has served dutifully as dragon protector of his people ever since. 每年村民都會開着一啲好長嘅船，返到汨羅江感謝龍王同埋屈原嘅恩惠。即使到今日5月初5端午節，喺世界各地都可以聽到熟悉嘅鼓聲喺水上邊掀起陣陣漣漪。龍舟喺江邊排起比賽嘅隊伍，呢啲又長又窄嘅船上載嘅好多槳手，一位舵手同埋一位打住節拍嘅鼓手，陽謀兇猛嘅龍頭刻咗喺船嘅最前方。比賽開始之前，選手點上龍嘅眼睛去喚醒龍，鼓聲咚咚就好似船嘅心跳，令人感受到龍嘅活力。Each year, the villagers return to the Milo River in their long boats to thank both the Dragon King and Qu Yuan for their benevolence. Even today on Duanwujie, double fifth day, the familiar sound of drums rippling across the water can be heard around the world. At the harbour, dragon boats line up to race. They are long, narrow boats filled with paddlers, a sweep, and a drummer beating out time. A fierce-looking dragon head is carved onto the prow. Racers paint in the dragon's eyes before the race to wake the dragon up. The drum, beating like the heart of the boat, brings the dragon to life. 多謝大家。Thank you, everybody. I'd like to introduce our musicians today. On the harp, we have Juliana Beckel, Bui Lai Ngon. On the Chinese sung, we have Yang Simyu, Cindy Yang. On the Chinese So Lap, Suona, Ma Wei Him. On the viola Zhong Tai Kam, we have Lao Zijing, Born Lao. On the double bass, Dayam Dai Tai Kam, we have Weng Zheng Ya Mei, Masami Nagai. And finally, on Hao Gik percussion, we have Long Heng Wing, Dr. Long Heng Wing. And my name is Gregory. Okay, so now we're going to have some fun. If you get out your programs and you turn to page 4, 你哋大家開你嘅長刊第4頁。We have lyrics to the song that you've just heard, but you didn't know it was a song. And we're going to sing it. It's a really fun song. 呢隻歌好好玩嘅，咁你哋今日就可以唱歌學英文，好唔好啊？嗱， so we'll sing it once for you, and you can follow through in your program, okay? And then we'll teach it to you, and we'll all sing it together. You ready? The drum beats like the dragon's heart, paddles in harmony, paddles up, racers ready, go. Dragon boats head out to sea, head out to sea. Towards the finish line they go, harbour side we yell, Jia-yo, 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 Jia-yo. 好容易咧, very easy, right? Okay, so we're going to try the first half slower, all right? And we'll get the first half first. You ready? Can I have the first note? You remember the first note? I'll get it. Thank you. You ready? Okay, so the drum beats like the dragon's heart, paddles like harmony, paddles up, racers ready, go. Dragon boats head out to sea, head out to sea. Hey, that's pretty good. 幾好喎，好咪？我哋再嚟一次，好冇？再試一次。We're going to do one more time. Try it. You ready? All right. The drum beats like the dragon's heart, paddles in harmony, paddles up, racers ready, go. Dragon boats head out to sea, head out to sea. That's pretty good. All right. Now we'll do the next part. 我哋下一段啦，我哋繼續落去。一樣嘅 OK? Towards the finish line they go. Sideways they all 加油加油加油加油加油！哇，你哋已經叻過我添。You're already better than I am. Okay, let's try that one more time. Towards the finish line they go. Harbour side we yell, 加油加油加油加油加油! Hey, pretty good. Okay, so we're going to try it one more time from the beginning with music. Homo? Yay! All right. Ready? The drum beats like the dragon's heart, paddles in harmony, paddles up, racers ready, go. Dragon boats head out to sea, head out to sea. Towards the finish line they go. Harbour side we yell, 加油加油加油加油加油 is really good， 真係幾好喎。好，我哋再嚟一次咧，今次就快返少少。I'll do one more time, a little bit quicker. All right, you ready? The drum beats like the dragon's heart, paddles in harmony, paddles up, racers ready, go. Dragon boats head out to sea, head out to sea. Towards the finish line they go, harbour side we yell, 加油加油加油加油加油。而家我想邀請我哋兩位今日嘅作曲家同埋作者上台，好冇？ I'd like to introduce today's writer and composer up onto the stage. 今日嘅作曲家 composer is Alexis Aldrich. 今日嘅作者 today's writer is 梁曉清 Christina Matula-Häkli. Okay, so right now, if any of you have any questions for these two people, or any of these people, right? 如果你有啲問題想問嘅，你問佢哋兩個啦，問後邊啲樂手，全部都可以問嘅，即刻可以問嘅。You can ask right now. Any questions? No limits, no charges. There's one. What's the next book?
Graham. I have a few manuscripts on my plate, and hopefully we'll have another collaboration soon about another Chinese festival.
All right, next question. Who has the next question? There's a hand over there, but I don't think it's a question. There's one at the back, over there, Johnny.
How do you come up with these stories?
The question was, how do I come up with these stories? Actually, this is a real story. So I married two legends together. So I love going to Stanley to see the dragon boat races. And I think everyone knows the story of Qu Yuan. So I wanted to create something to share. But also I wanted to make it a little less sad than the sort of story about his self-sacrifice. So that's why I married it with the dragon boat legend. I think the rain dance that the villagers do is sort of a universal theme, so wanting rain for harvest, and I think that is a global thing.
Any other questions? 有冇其他問題嘅？廣東話都得嘅喎。Over here. Coming. There's a microphone coming. 1 second.
With your stories.
You try again in a simpler version. Explain it better.
I love living in Hong Kong and all the festivals that are here, and I wanted to understand how the festival started. So it's really not me making up the stories. It's really about understanding better the city that I live in.
So it's a story from two Chinese stories. All right? So it's really interesting. 有冇問題想問啲樂手啊? Any questions for the musicians? You have a question? The guy in front has a question. All right. Big man with a blue shirt.
How did you come up with the music?
Music time.
These are like heavenly questions. Only nature knows. I was inspired by the story. It had great characters, the dragon king, and the minister. It just made me think of different sounds, and these instruments are so wonderful. And the combination of the ones I grew up with, the Western, and the ones that were newer to me, the Chinese, was really inspiring.
Your question or somebody else's question? It's yours, so okay.
So it's mine. How do you play the harp like with so many strings?
You should ask her how many parts are inside the harp. That'll scare you.
So the harp has 47 strings, and just like Gregory mentioned, there's a lot of metal parts inside too. There's 10,000 metal working parts. So it's a pretty complicated instrument, and a lot of the times you start on piano because there's a lot of notes on the piano too. So it's a good place to start so you can get used to having so many notes, and then maybe you can do the harp and pluck all of the notes instead of just push.
Did you get that? 佢嘅豎琴裏邊咧有1萬個零件嘅，嚇死人嘅1萬個。所以咧，佢哋搬咧，你知鋼琴係要搬鋼琴咧，係要揾專人搬係嘛？佢嘅豎琴都係要揾專人搬嘅。勁。最後一個問題 ，one more question, anybody? One more for the musicians. Oh, there's one in the front.
Thank you.
Any more? One more question for any of the musicians. You can speak in Mandarin, Japanese, English, Cantonese. Any questions? One more?
仲有冇問題咧？最後一個問題係啦，問廣東話都得㗎喎。
Okay. Well, we'll go one more. Just in time.
我想問下呢嗰啲即係個豎琴小姐個豎琴要唔要學㗎？
She wants to know if it's easy to learn the harp.
The short answer is no. But there's many different sizes of harps. They start really small and they keep getting bigger. So when I was little, I played on a harp that was only about this tall. So it can be easy, but it's a lot of work.
佢話佢細個嘅時候咧就玩嗰個豎琴係咁細個，跟住就一路換上去大嘅，咁啊就可以簡單又可以好複雜嘅，我覺得好複雜咯。你哋睇唔到啊？佢下邊咧仲有一腳踏喎，有7個啊，係要撳落去咧變音嘅，所以佢好勁嘅，好叻嘅。Thank you everybody for coming. Very, very important. 非常之重要，唔好忘記 Don't forget to pick up your 粽子 your dumplings on the way out. All right? Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.